How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another build guide for season 19 and for the raids. This video will include bloodied and full health, as well as covering a little bit of damage so you guys can see how well it performs. There will be links in the description for the Nuka Dragons page so you guys can have a on-hand build just in case. We're going to split this video in two. In the first half it's going to be bloodied, the second half is going to be full health. So with that, let's get right to it. Now for the perk card distribution, you guys can pause the video if you'd like. This is what we have going on for this build. Again, this is for the bloodied version. Now for the perk cards, we are going to be doing two different sets. This is going to be the set that doesn't require the Thru Hiker's 3-star armor mod, because I know players do prefer a different 3-star, so I want to have an option for those players as well. Now this build is pretty straightforward. It tries to capitalize on as much damage as you possibly can, as well as taking advantage of the endurance and luck perk cards that scale with those specials. We are also going to be using the Nuka-Cola Dark combo, which is Cola Nut, Party Boy, and Happy Go Lucky. But one of the key cards that allow us to stay alive is going to be Field Surgeon, because it is very important to stim, especially as a bloody build. But the rest of the build from intelligence on is pretty standard. Now for the build that I use, since I do use the Thru Hiker's 3-star, I am using Lock and Load in replace for Traveling Pharmacy, as well as Vaccinated and Thirst Quencher in replace for the Thru Hikers. Of course, you can opt those endurance perk cards for something different that fits your preference. Another big difference in this build compared to the other one is the Quick Hands. It does not have Class Freak because I do like to retake my mutations, and if you don't, just remove Quick Hands and put back on Class Freak. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at our legendary perk cards. Now I like to use maxed out endurance, luck, intelligence, strength, and agility. I will be using these perk cards for future builds and I use them all the time. Now for the 6 card, it's completely optional depending on what you want to use. I recommend using Funky Duds for bloodied for that little bit of breathing room for the final stage. But if you're able to tank the hits and you know when to stim, then you don't need it and you can opt in for other perk cards like Take One for the Team or Power Armor Reboot. For those who don't know what Power Armor Reboot does, it allows you to take fatal hits and it does proc multiple times if you're lucky. But now let's move on to the weapon. For the weapon, we are going to be using a Bloody 50 Crit 25 LVC Gatling Plasma, and this is the weapon that I've been using since the beginning of Season 19 and it has been glorious. Now for the mods, I would like to get a calibrated capacitor and a stinging receptacle for the crits and the armor pen, but we're using the base build for prime, rifled, reflex sight, and beam focuser. Now for mutations, I use the basic bloodied crit mutations, which is Adrenal Reaction, Bird Bones, Egghead, Eagle Eyes, Marsupial, Herbivore, Herd Mentality, Scaly Skin, and Speed Demon. And for the buffs that we will be using is Overdrive, Blight Soup, Tesla 9 mags, as well as a big gun bobblehead. Now for the first stage in the raids, a lot of people do tend to go as a half health for bloodied because it allows them to take a little bit of extra damage and allow them to take advantage of their super stims or regular stim packs depending on which they use. This also grants them the ability to proc their ricochet a little bit more consistently. So if that's something that you would like to do, you can. But I'm stubborn, I like the nerd rage, and I like to show that there is a way to run as a with nerd rage and survive. And that's simply just by taking cover. Now for the torso damage, I do tend to hit for around 13 to 1500 crits fully buffed up. And it can tear through the Guardian's HP pretty quickly, so if you're running with a team, you should be able to do this in one phase. But other than that, this is how well the build performs as a solo against the Guardian. With a team, it performs even better. Now for the Ultraside Terror, we will be using the same buffs and such, but a couple tips when it comes to running as a bloody build for this guy. Now, you can stack a lot of poison resistance, as I said earlier, it gives you a little bit more breathing room, but the biggest thing is knowing when to stim pack. The most simple way I could put it is stop shooting as soon as you see projectiles coming after you and spam your stims. If you can perfect that and continue damaging right after, you are golden. But as for the damage, we are hitting for 1955 as the high and around 1800 as the low, which is quite good when I'm by myself. Again, with a team who's using take one for the team, you can easily clear 2,000 to 2,500, as well as, if you can, you might even be able to push 3k per crit. Now, I didn't end up completing it, and I'm glad I didn't, because I am using this in a custom world and I want to keep this checkpoint to do other testing. But don't do what I did here and open up your Pip-Boy and try to use things. Yeah, that's not good. But anywho, to the full health build. So here is the point distribution. The main difference is that there's 3 less points in intelligence and 3 points in endurance. You can pause the video if you need a little bit of extra time, but let's go ahead and check out the perk cards. Now, perk cards are no different between this and Bloodied. The only difference is no Radical and no Nerd Rage. This is without Thru Hiker's 3-star. Now, the perk cards you see now, this is for my own personal build with the 3-star in Thru Hikers. And as you can see, Traveling Pharmacy is replaced with Lock and Load. Thru Hikers is now replaced with Life Giver. And of course, you can use Class Freak instead of Quick Hands. For the legendary perk cards, it's the exact same. Endurance, Luck, Intelligence, Strength, and Agility. And of course, the 6th one is completely optional for your preference. Now, we're going to skip the Guardian, and it's basically the exact same thing as Bloodied. The damage is just slightly less, and you're more tanky, which means you can proc your Ricochet significantly more. Mutations are the same, minus Adrenal Reaction. The weapon that we are going to be using, though, is going to be an Aristocrat's 50 crit 25 LVC. I just swapped out the primary legendary, the 1-star, for Aristocrats, so I guess technically the same weapon. But for the buffs, we're going to be using Blight Soup, Nuka-Cola Darks, Overdrive, Big Guns Bobblehead, and a Tesla 9 magazine. Now, for full health, there really isn't much to say in terms of surviving, but as for damage, we're hitting for 1,863 as a high, and about 1,500 as the low. And if you're running with a team and have Take One for the team active, you can hit roughly around 2,000 to 2,300 and possibly even push 2,600 to 2,700 per crit. Now, when it comes to the full health builds here in the raids, they are honestly just insane. And as you can see, you can solo the Terror with the full health build. But I'm not going to, because I'm saving this instance for testing purposes. So this is what happens if you do not complete the damage check. So when that happens, focus the face. And that's about it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully found the tips and tricks and the information useful. And if you do plan on using this or trying this out, I hope you do find it good enough. Now, if you guys want to see the build in action a little bit more, I do stream Mondays through Fridays from 2 a.m. PST. You guys can check out the streams here on YouTube, or you can go into the description. I will have a link to the Twitch channel there if you guys would like to take a look. Now, if you guys need any help with raids or looking for people to run, we do run with the community, and anyone who needs help, whether you are brand new to the game, brand new to the raids, or a veteran raider, so all are welcome, and you guys are more than welcome to come and join. But with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Again, thank you so much for watching. But happy hunting, good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next one.